What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. Back with another live stream today. We'll be looking at the latest goings off at Arsenal Football Club. It is a bit of a quiet day at the moment. International break going on. It's just a bit of a countdown at the moment to this international break finishing, really. You know, it's dragged on a little bit too much. I can understand why Arsene Wenger is calling for the international break to be kind of, I think what he wants the national teams to do is go away for 1 month and play 6 games in the month rather than keep stopping every few months the international break. Arsene Wenger is on the green screen today, by the way, for the simple reason, for those who don't know, 25 years ago today, Arsene Wenger managed his first game for Arsenal Football Club, over 1,200 games in charge. We beat Blackburn away from home. Ian Wright scored a couple of fantastic goals. And listen, we all have our strong opinions of Arsene Wenger. I've done Wenger streams in the past. But I still think it's important to acknowledge what a legend he was, particularly in the early days. And, you know, still for me, probably produced the best football we've ever seen at Arsenal. In fact, for certain, definitely. So, big up to Arsene Wenger, 25 years ago to the day. Big up Kailash. Curtis, I was born on this day, 12th October 96. Happy birthday to you. Hope you're well. Have a great day and enjoy yourself. Jashar, apologies, bro. I ruined your Granit Xhaka joke yesterday. I misread it and got it all wrong, man. It's the power of YouTube and reading out live comments sometimes. Big up Andrew said checking in from Mississippi, farming the sheep. Big up Curtis, it's going to be a great day. And South London's finally says Uncle Vengs. I'm telling you, bro, big Uncle Vengs. Time flies, says Chris Fraser, 25 years. And according to some people in the press, we have the mini Arsene Wenger in charge of us now in Mikel Arteta. That's a whole other debate, people. So big up to everyone anyway in the comments. Hope you're having a great day. It is quite slow on the news at the moment. Obviously, England play tonight against Hungary. I won't be live streaming that. I barely watch these games, to be honest. But we are now 6 days away from Arsenal coming back next Monday. Patrick Vieira at the Emirates. And obviously over the weekend, we'll have Premier League action. Probably have a watch along over the weekend as well. So big up to everyone. Hope you're well. This will be about 45 minutes today. And we're looking ahead to January. The transfer window is creeping round the corner. The links are starting to fly out. Some of them are purely, just newspapers filling space in the paper because they haven't got nothing to talk about. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain yesterday. The funny thing was, somebody came in the comments afterwards and said, "Oh, why are you even reporting this? We all know this isn't going to happen." And I said, "Mate, I don't know if you remember, but when we were linked with Nicolas Pepe, Ornstein came out and said, there's absolutely no chance Arsenal can pay 72 million for him. Deal won't happen." Every Arsenal big newspaper reporter and everyone said, "That's it, deal off. Ornstein's spoken, won't happen." Imagine if I sat there and just said, "Well, Ornstein said no Pepe, so we'll leave it alone." A week later, he's holding up an Arsenal shirt. So we can't ignore it, people. You know, we still have to talk about it. For me, it's unlikely that we sign Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but is it impossible? It's definitely not. So we will report it. Clement said, other than Zaha or Aouar, who is the danger man for Palace for Arsenal to worry about? I mean, listen, Eze apparently is back in training. We're supposed to be out until January. But when Arsenal are playing, people just seem to recover. So Eze apparently has trained now. Whether he'll be fit enough to start, I don't know. Obviously, Elise has done well. The guy they signed, I think they signed him from Reading in the summer. He scored and set up a goal the other week. So Palace have always been a side that are just dangerous on the counter-attack. You know, they swarm forward when they attack. And I think it'll be a difficult game for Arsenal. We're going to have to handle them. You know, Zaha, this could be a very different and tricky test for Tomiyasu. You know, I think Zaha will probably be his toughest test so far. Son is a better player than Zaha, but Zaha is so direct at the fullback. It'll make life difficult for him. Gallagher, yeah, good point, Jay. Yeah, Gallagher, Conor Gallagher, is it? I think he's playing for England under 21s at the moment. He's started off well. So he's another one as well. Sean said, prefer Ramsey to come back for a loan spell if Juve allow it. Juve apparently are willing to let him go in January. He's being linked with Newcastle at the moment. Matthias said, I miss Wenger football. He's not the same anymore. It's not. It's changed, but I'm not sure if Wenger could deal with the change of football, you know, the way it went, so much finances and things like that. He was kind of anti all that. Shaquille said, Big C in the building. Big up my GM, big up Wenger. We need to see you in the Emirates crowd. I'm telling you, I'll be there soon. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Yes, big up Goonalicious. Scarrety said, I reckon Conte will go to Newcastle. We'll miss out again. I mean, listen, Steve Bruce, I don't know what's taking him so long. They're clearly going to sack him. DJ Dre, Wagwan, Curtis, big up yourself. Big up. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead, people. I'll come back to the comments shortly. Arsenal being linked with, I mean, this is now turning into the new Yanam Villa, the new Gonzalo Higuain, the new Julian Draxler, the player we're linked with all the time. Are we ever going to sign him? Is Hussam Aouar. Another transfer window, another Arsenal link. Now, it's funny because I remember being linked with Lacazette for years and just thinking, this is another one, never going to happen. Eventually, we actually got the deal done. Will this one eventually get done? Now, Aouar has scored in his last 2 games. Apparently has done quite well this season for Lyon. As you can see, Xherdan Shaqiri in the background, who they signed from Liverpool in the summer. But rumours going around that Lyon would be willing to sell Aouar this January at the right price due to the fact Aouar has made it clear he will not extend his contract. His contract runs out in 18 months. And Lyon are a club that they're not going to let him run down that deal. You know, their chairman is notorious. And he is saying that if they get the right price, they're willing to sell. Now, the interesting thing with this deal, we tried the whole of last year to sign him. And there were even rumours that Mikel Arteta wanted Aouar more than he wanted Thomas Partey at the time. Apparently, Edu was the one pushing for the Thomas Partey deal. But again, he's being linked with a move to Arsenal. Now, we know Arsenal are steering a midfield crisis straight in the face in January. Xhaka out injured for 3 months. El Neni and Thomas Partey going to the African Cup of Nations. We're clearly going to need a midfielder. We can't count on Lokonga and Ainsley Maitland-Niles for the whole of January. We are going to have to sign a midfielder. We're hoping it's not Jack Wilshere, no disrespect. And we're hoping it's not Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We don't want to go down that route, to be honest. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal did pull one of those 2 deals out. Just because, as we say, if it makes sense, we won't do it. They'll do something that doesn't make sense. Now, apparently, Lyon were willing to sell him for around 25 million in the summer. I still have no idea why Arsenal didn't get this deal done in the summer. He was being linked with Tottenham. He was being linked with Liverpool. Liverpool, again, apparently, are still looking at him. They lost Gini Wijnaldum in the summer without signing a replacement midfielder, and Liverpool could target him in January. The Daily Express reporting here, Arsenal can finally end their Aouar pursuit if Liverpool transfer swoop fails. I mean, and according to this report, it's saying that a Liverpool move is unlikely in January, more likely to be the end of the season. Hussam Aouar is 23 years of age. He turns 24 in June at the end of the season. He apparently has started the season well for Lyon. Highly rated player. We know all about him. We've spoken about him time and time again. 2 goals, 2 assists in his opening 9 games. He's been a French under-21 international, 7 goals, 3 assists last year. He's a bit more of a number 8. He's not a deep lying midfielder in that sense. Could he be the guy to go and partner Thomas Partey moving forward for the rest of the season? What do you guys think? I tend to have this impression that there must be an issue where Edu and maybe Arteta don't agree on him, because how did we not sign him this summer when his value was half of what it was last summer? When he was 45, 50 million, we was all over him. When he was 25 million, we didn't want nothing to do with him. It makes absolutely no sense. why we didn't pursue this deal in the summer. But again, there could be an opportunity to buy him in January. But the thing is, and what I'm really intrigued to see, because we've spent 150 million in the summer, are we actually going to spend money on players in January? You know, Arsenal in recent years have looked to the loan market in January. Matt Ryan and Odegaard last January. The year before it was Pablo Mari and Cedric. We've had some other ones, you know, Denis Suarez and those kind of Januaries that we don't really like the look of them ones when we look back. Jake said Arsenal will sign him when he's 30. Yeah, more than likely. We'll wait about 10 years to get him. If Curtis approves, Arsenal won't do it. It's pretty right, to be honest. It's pretty right. Marvu said Ox to Arsenal is more achievable. And do you know what was interesting? Yesterday, the stories were that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain would cost around £23 million. Another report has come out today saying they may take as little as 16 million for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So clearly the press are not sure. But for 16 million, I'll ask the question again, would you change your mind on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Reports saying that Lyon would want 25 million again, as they did in the summer for Aouar. But if it was 16 million for Oxlade-Chamberlain, would you take it? Or still, me personally, I would still stay away from it. Ox left us when he was probably at his best. He's trying to come back to us when he's probably at his worst, you know. Double ACL injury, no form, no fitness, not in the England team, no confidence, wants to play midfield. Remember when Arsenal sold him, we were playing him on the right-hand side or even right wing-back. D-Man's, I've got to be honest, and I'm going to be totally honest. He's saying, would I take Oxlade-Chamberlain on a free? If you could get him for like a year. The problem is on a free, he's going to want like a 2, 3, 4-year contract. So even on a free, I'm not sure. It would have to be a short-term deal. But yeah. Jalil said, facts, realise he isn't that guy in centre mid. I've watched Ox play a number of times centre mid. He's loose on the ball, gives the ball away too much. He could get away with that out wide, but through the middle, I'm not having it. Now, a lot of people in the chat are saying that Thomas Partey has scored a free kick. I mean, I don't. Is it April Fool's Day? What's going on here, people? Let me know. People telling me Partey's whipping free kicks in on international duty. What he has, people. I've just seen people saying it. Thomas Partey's just scored a free kick for Ghana. I mean, is he just buoying us off? I'm about to see it now, actually. Thomas Partey goes straight through the keeper. It's terrible goalkeeping, but this guy scores free kicks for Ghana. For us, it's RSPCA settings, man. Jeez. The goalkeeper should have saved it, to be fair. Ghana having a Partey hard. It's funny, isn't it? All these players, they struggle for Arsenal. They go on international duty and they thrive, you know. They thrive. What's going on? How come Partey don't score? 2 goals in 2 games for Arsenal. Yeah, the goalkeeper, I don't know what he's doing. Ball looked like it went straight through his hands, but still. I call him the pigeon killer for Arsenal. RSPCA settings, people. So, yeah, good news, though. I'm glad Partey scored. Hopefully he comes back to Arsenal and puts them shooting boots on because he's playing in Timberland boots right now when he shoots. But I think in terms of Aouar, I just think we're going to be linked with this guy every single transfer window until Arsenal sign him or somebody else signs him, you know. So there's no direct quotes in the story. And I think it's just going to be the new Julian Draxler, Jan and Villa. Every window will be linked with him until we get him or he goes elsewhere. Me personally, I would definitely be in favour of Arsenal getting this deal done. I've watched him a few times. I rate him good on the ball, 23. And but listen, that French connection might be weaker now due to Arteta and the way he's treated French players. Hendon Guna said it's the system. Curtis, I agree. Not sure Kevin Campbell would agree. He'd say it's the players, Curtis. Kevin said, morning, Curtis. Yes, Partey scored. The Ox doesn't play enough and gets injured too much. Definitely. I agree with that. Cooney said, big up, Aouar is not the answer. He's lightweight, not made for the Prem. Fair enough, fair enough. Andrew said, I love the Ox and have his name and number on my 2014 kit. Do not want him on big wages or long term. No Ox, no ham roll. Yes, Super Jack on a pay-as-you-play. Wow. He would take Jack Wilshere back. Partey is the satellite destroyer, I'm telling you. That's how he's moving over here. Scarrety said Aouar and Sabitzer in January, 55 million well spent. What you reckon? I mean, Sabitzer, did he signed for Bayern Munich, didn't he, in the summer? So we got no chance of getting Sabitzer. Aouar, as I said, 25 million quid, could get that one done. Rumours now that Ox would cost 16. So as much as I wouldn't go for him, Arsenal could get that done. And listen, like I always say as fans, we don't control what the club do. If they signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, whether I like that or not, we would still get behind him and support him. I just don't think it would send out a good message. I'd much rather see, an Aouar. Not even Basuma now. He's otherwise engaged in Wormwood Scrubs. But listen, there are other midfielders out there I'd look at. I think somebody just said in the comments, the kid at Ajax, what's his name? Good player. I think he's about 19. Is it Gravenberch? Something like that. He looks a good player as well. So yeah, definitely better options out there. Possibly someone who could upset the group. Got to be sure for Aouar. I mean, he's had problems. They've talked about attitude. This guy, Arteta, can't handle attitude, can he? Boy 10 said, if whatever moves we make don't get us closer to signing Gravenberch, then I honestly don't want to hear it. A lot of people rate that guy highly. Surprised no one's signed him yet. Big up South London's finest. Appreciate your support as always, bro. Smash the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Bruno Ramirez, totally agree. Cronke out in the comments. I think the problem with Ramirez is has a little bit longer on his contract than Aouar. So I think they're more keen to let Aouar go at the moment. Another couple of players we were talking about. One was Renato Sanchez, who nearly went on loan to Wolves in the summer. I'd be happy to take him on loan. I know some people say he's injury prone, but if you could take him on loan with no obligation to buy, and Kailash had just said that, I would be all over Renato Sanchez on loan in January. I would definitely look at that. And the other one, as I've said a few times, is Weston McKennie, the American international who plays for Juventus. Good player, was raved about last year at Juventus and somehow nearly ended up at Burnley due to the American owners. There must be some link with him, and they nearly got him in the summer. So I didn't understand that. BX Gunner said, hey, Curtis, New Yorkers can do anything in Timberlands. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Them man don't play, Them man can do all sorts. But Partey's not American, but I hear you. Yeah, I see enough man in America love the Timberland boots, the jeans and the white T-shirt. That's their look, man. Yes, Gravenberch in Aouar would sort our midfield, says Hull Up TV. Gambi and Guna, I like Bruno Ramirez or Tukameni, great ballers. That Tukameni looked a real player the other day for France. I think he's about 19 or 20. Plays for Monaco, and he looks a top talent. He really does. Marvu, hey, you relax, my friend. Man said, Curtis, the names you're mentioning won't join Arsenal. You lot are not in Europe. He loves to remind us of that, don't he? Listen, if Renato Sanchez was going to go to Wolves, he would come to Arsenal. If McKennie was considering Burnley, he would come to Arsenal. Aouar would come to Arsenal if he didn't have an offer from a Liverpool or someone like that. I think Gravenberch would consider Arsenal as well. Dash Cash said, every time I start FIFA career mode with Arsenal, I sign Gravenberch. He's a player, man. Big up to Dash Cash. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Yeah, Marvel, he's turning into a real Chelsea troll in the comments, man. You know what I mean? S-Keb said, Big C, why do you think Aouar never got a move for the last 2 years? It's because his brother is his agent. He demanded outrageous fees. We need to take this into account, unfortunately. I think the problem is, with a lot of players nowadays, what they do, they don't hire a professional agent. They want to keep the money in the family, so they'll get their brother, their dad, their uncle to be their agent. And these guys want to get paid, so they make outrageous demands sometimes. And I think Aouar's brother/agent has priced him out of moves, unfortunately. You would think that Aouar would take control of that situation and say, listen, bro, lower those demands. I need to make the move. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to make anything if you keep doing that. Rodney said, Curtis, what about Bernardo Silva from City? He would be outstanding. But You know, we saw against Liverpool, he was fantastic. He looks as if he's played himself back into favour at Manchester City. Tuco said Weston McKennie is better than anything we've got. If we could do that, it would be great, 100%. Riley's Way said McKennie has got behaviour problems. It was the reason he was available in the summer. I mean, listen, the situation we're in, we should be looking to exploit that. But because we got Mikel Arteta, who gets, I won't say scared, but, you know, he doesn't seem to like players when they've got a little bit of attitude, as we've seen with Guendouzi and players like that. He probably would stay away from him. Omid said, McKenna is a saucy player. I wanted him as a Madrid fan ahead of Camavinga. Box to box, brilliant on the ball and physically made for the Premier League. I mean, listen, I'm pulling a rabbit out of a hat here. We're not actually being linked with him. I just really hope we make a move for him. Somebody that I think would be ideal. Gunning Solman said Tukameni is a beast. He's 21. Okay. Still young, though. Still plenty of time. Dash Cash, I did read out your super chat. Apologies, bro. A lot of comments coming in, so sometimes I'm a bit slow on that. Hope you're Cruz's agent. 100%, bro. Any deals you want to do with Cruz, they got to go through me. But I won't price him out of a move, man. Come on. You got to do what's best for him. Giles said, big up Curtis. I haven't watched your stream in days, so my question is, do you want Jack Wilshere? I do not want Jack Wilshere, Giles. I'm not getting caught up in emotion. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are getting caught up in emotion with Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere was released by West Ham, released by Bournemouth in the Championship, went to a Serie B club on trial, and now he didn't sign for them due to his financial demands. But, you know, if he was that good, I'm sure they would have been desperate to get that done. I don't think he's good enough to come back to Arsenal. I don't think he's good enough to thrive in the Premier League at the moment. I think it's too physical for him. So, not for me personally. Mr. 142 said the Anelka brothers were worse. I watched the documentary about Nicolas Anelka. As you know, I'm a massive fan of Anelka when he was at Arsenal. And, as I said, these guys want the money to stay in their family. But sometimes when you've got somebody that has never been an agent, it's hard to know what to do, and these guys just want the biggest check they can get possible. Man said Le Souk, Let's have a look. The Ox could stop us looking elsewhere. Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. Let's move on. I think we've got the general feeling from that. People would take Aouar, but there's a number of other midfielders out there that have probably got something else to offer, that would be better. But I do like Aouar. If we got Aouar in, I would be happy with it. My one worry with Aouar has always been, does he have that? We know he's not big and physically strong. And sometimes I think when you're that small and you're playing in centre midfield in the Premier League, you have to be exceptional. You've got to be exceptional in the sense of either great on the ball like Santi Cazorla or great off the ball like N'Golo Kante. Is Aouar good enough to play in a 2 next to Thomas Partey? I'm not totally sure, but I do like him as a player. Big up Craig said, Curtis, did you watch the Paul Merson documentary? I did. I saw some clips, saw a few clips of it regarding his gambling and stuff like that. Very brave of him to speak out, but I didn't watch all of it. I did hear it was good, but no, I didn't watch it all. But moving on, people, and we've got another player. I mean, the report says 2 players, but from reading the story, it is 1 player. And I have to admit, I feel sorry for this guy. And it's this guy on the right. The only reason I'm saying that, and again, as usual, I apologize for using a Sun article, people. It said Arsenal peer Maitland Niles and El Neni are considering transfer exit talks over game time. Now, when you actually read the story, the majority of the story is aimed at Ainsley Maitland-Niles, not Mohamed El Neni. Mohamed El Neni is out of contract in the summer. He's more than likely to leave the club on a free. He's also going to the African Cup of Nations, so we get plenty of game time in January with the Egyptian national team. Ainsley Maitland-Niles must feel like one of the most unfairly treated players that's played for Arsenal in recent times. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are not massively keen on Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but can you imagine? Last summer, he was in the England squad, and Wolves were trying to buy him for £20 million. We reject that move. Wolves at the time were decent as well. And we reject that move. We keep him. So you think, all right, he's going to get game time. Between that summer and January, he hardly kicked a ball for us. We then loan him to West Brom. He gets relegated, kicked out of the England squad, and comes back to Arsenal. You know, confidence is shot to pieces and his value was dropped. He then is that desperate to leave the club this summer. He resorts to social media to say, if you're not going to play me, let me leave. Everton wanted to sign him on loan with an option to buy. Everton would again have been a good move for a player of Ainsley Maitland-Niles' level. We have a meeting with him, convince him to stay, and he's hardly kicked a ball this season. And again, he must be sitting there thinking, if you don't want to use me, why are you not selling me? And you do have to ask that question. We talk about self-sustaining model time and time and time again. Self-sustaining means getting value out of players when you're going to sell them. Now, Gunnar David said, I'm fed up of his moaning. And I get it. Some people may look at it and say, you know, get your head down, fight for your place and keep quiet. But he must at the same time think, why do I keep being promised football on a regular basis and yet you won't sell me and you won't play me? So I can understand his frustration. I know he has been involved a lot more this season. He seems to, I think he's started 1 or 2 games and he's come off the bench for a couple. So he has been involved a little bit. I just think, on one hand, I will say this. This is how I'll say it, people. I'll give it some balance. One from the player's point of view, one from the club. I think Ainsley's problem is you cannot keep going to the press. Every time you've got an issue inside a football club, you can't throw a newspaper story out. You can't go on Instagram saying, let me leave. You know, that was probably a sign of desperation. But you can't then again go to the newspapers and say, I'm not happy again. Just talk to your agent, speak to the manager, say, I want to leave the football club. This is it now. There's no convincing me to stay. I'm putting slow mode on people because there's over 1,000 of you in here. Loads of comments. Appreciate your support. Like the video and subscribe. At the same time, I do think he has been mistreated by the football club. 2 genuine offers where he could have left. I think Wolves and Everton would both be good moves for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I don't think he would get moves any higher than those 2 clubs. So for him to go to Everton, play with Rafa Benitez as his manager, I think he would be all over that. So I can understand his frustration, but I think he expresses it in the wrong way. The newspapers is not the way to go. South London's finally said his agent is a joke. He should have been pushing for a move. I just think in the summer, he should have put himself in a position where you can't convince me to stay. I'm done. I've given up. Once you went on Instagram and said, I want to leave, that tells you how desperate he was to leave. He just was desperate to leave. They've spoken to him and convinced him to stay. I mean, listen, what I will say for Ainsley, does he really need to be doing this so early in the season? We've only played a few games. He's come off the bench in most games. I believe he's started a couple of games as well. He does seem to be involved. At the moment, Granit Xhaka's injured. El Neni's had a couple of injuries lately as well. In January, he'll go to the AFCON. Partey will go to the AFCON. And Xhaka is injured. So I think he's going to get game time. So I think he just needs to be quiet a little bit at the moment. You know, I would have defended him previously and said, you know, it's bad. But I think he needs to get his head down and play for a little bit and see how it works out. Because what I would say that Arsenal have done wrong, and I can see a number of you saying it in the comments, if Arsenal were to sell Ainsley Maitland-Niles now, how much would we actually get for him? We're certainly not going to get that £20 million that Wolves offered in a pandemic as well. So I think both sides, I think the football club and the player have to look at themselves and how they've handled this situation. Chris Fraser said, Big C, regardless of how we feel, this has been horrendous business from Arsenal. Use him or sell him. We've ruined his confidence and his value as an asset is ridiculous. Listen, I said this all the time. We spoke about this yesterday, Chris. If Ainsley played for Liverpool or played for Chelsea, 23 years of age, England international, can play right back, centre mid, wing back, I guarantee these clubs would be getting 25, 30 million pounds for him. 20 to 25 million for him. But Arsenal, I could see Ainsley leaving Arsenal for 12 million, 14 million. Our business is so bad. It's so bad. He should be an asset to Arsenal, as you're saying. Cronke out said Arteta can't handle the situation. Again, man management skills doesn't seem to handle these players well. If you're going to promise a player football, give him the football. You can't stop him leaving when you don't want to play him and then do that again for the second summer and still, he's still frustrated. He's obviously still not happy. Sometimes you wonder and just think Arsenal might have been better off just selling him and going in a different direction. Liverpool got 22 million for Brewster. He would get at least 30 million for Ainsley. It wouldn't surprise me, mate. Michael Edwards is immense. And Marina at Chelsea as well. Selling players that, have been on loan that have never played a game for Chelsea for 22 million to Palace. I still don't think his levels are there, to be fair, said TK. Listen, what I want to ask you in the comments. Do you think Ainsley Maitland-Niles is good enough to be at Arsenal? And what do you think his best position is? Is he no more than a squad player? I've always said with Ainsley's opportunity was to be Arsenal's right back. I've said it for a long time. When Bellerin was injured, he had a year and a bit to make himself the first choice right back. And he's constantly kind of focused on wanting to play centre mid, although he did say he was willing to play right back. And I just think as a centre midfielder, he will never make it at Arsenal Football Club beyond a squad player if we had Europa League or Carabao and FA Cup. So he needs to prove himself. Gunnar8 said he's not a yes man. I agree with that. I don't think he is. For me, he's a backup dancer at right back, said South London's finest. I think Tomiyasu now has probably ended any hopes that he had of being Arsenal's right back, to be honest. DWTT said Ainsley Maitland-Niles got work twice. He needs to go do what's best for him. I mean, he's tried to. Rumours were when Wolves came in for him, he wanted to go, but wasn't desperate to go. And when Everton came in for him, you saw how desperate he was to go with the Instagram posts and that. So, listen, for me, I think he needs to get his head down a little bit. Like Craig said, he's squad fodder at the moment, but I think he will have an opportunity in the middle of midfield to prove himself, especially during AFCON. Misty said he did his best at right back and was better than Bellerin. Once Bellerin came back, Arteta shipped him out instantly. And this is the problem. I'm not sure if he embraced that opportunity to play at right back enough. Kevin Bean said, issue may be bigger than playing time. Him and the manager might not get along. I think the issue is more on Arteta than Ainsley. I think Ainsley feels like he's lied to him. Turned down moves, convinced him to stay, and then not used him. So I get the frustration, but at the moment, as bad as it is, he has to just focus on football. The window is closed right now. Not the time to talk publicly. Big up Kevin with the super chat. I appreciate that. Big up Ashburn with the super chat said maybe he knows that Arteta has plans to play Wilshere in the team. Wouldn't surprise me. Big up Ashburn with the super chat. Boy 10 said Ainsley is good enough to be at Arsenal. His best position is at right back. Can do a job in midfield. He's a decent backup left back. If he's expecting to be rotation for right back and centre mid, he should stay. I mean, he seems to want more than that. Big up Jason who said greetings from Thailand. Big up to you, bro. Gunnar Lisha said sell the blood clot. Simon said good enough. He has down tools. I think it's harsh to say he's down tools. I think he's frustrated with the situation more than anything. Earl said Ainsley, Saliba and Pepe all treated disgustingly by Parteta, just like Pep. Hey, man, a lot of people have said that he's mistreated a lot of players. You could throw Martinelli in there as well. Temp said, Curtis, bring Daniel Farley back on the show. About time he did Arteta impressions. Yeah, I may have to reach out to him, to be fair. So in terms of that, listen, I think if we get to January and Ainsley is not getting regular game time, I think these rumours will come back again and he'll potentially be looking for a move out the door. What I would say, I get his frustration, but now is not the time to be talking publicly. Get your head down, try and get in this team It's not like we're firing on all cylinders. There is an opportunity for Ainsley to probably find his way into the Arsenal team. So focus on football and, but like I said, people, apologies for the Sun newspaper articles. They seem to have a lot of sensationalized Arsenal headlines at the moment. Levan said patience is the key. It's vital. It's vital. But how long do you wait, Jason said plenty of gooners in the land of smiles, but we need to smile about Arsenal. Listen, I agree, man. I agree. The Sun is not. That's why I always say, man, when it's a Sun article, apologies because we know what they're about as a newspaper, man. We need a Klopp. Listen, I think we all know. I said this the other day. I said, look, you look at the situation regarding a lot of the clubs that are above us. Now, Liverpool have Jurgen Klopp, City have Pep, Chelsea have Thomas Tuchel. Man United have Ole, who's not very good, but United have a great team of individuals. So there's 4. You look at other teams that are above us, Leicester. I would say Brendan is a better manager in the Premier League. David Moyes, I mean, I don't even particularly rate David Moyes, but he's getting a lot out of that West Ham team. He's finishing above us. I think our biggest problem, and I said it time and time again, is if we had a top-level manager, I think that's the starting point to build it. Why have the Newcastle owners come in, and what's the first thing they're doing? They're saying, Steve Bruce is not good enough to take this team to the top level. He's going to be the first casualty of Newcastle United because they know the starting point of that club is the manager. They can have all the money in the world. If they got the wrong manager, it's not going to work. If they don't want to play for him, if he can't attract top players, it's not going to work. And this is the problem for me with Arsenal. And this isn't me hammering Mikel Arteta, people, because, I don't want to make it negative about Mikel Arteta. We have improved over the last month, but the last month is the last month. That doesn't win you a title. That doesn't get you top 4, top 6, win you a trophy. A month is just a month. It's not that long in football. I just think with Arsenal, go and get that top quality manager that allows you to bridge that gap with those top teams. If you can get a Conte, if you can get a Ten Hag, so that we can say, look, our manager is better than their manager. If we can build a strong team now who gets more out of them, you can't tell me that Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Martinelli, all our attackers are suddenly terrible players. But none of them are thriving under this manager, Sam Nelson said, afternoon, Curtis, watching from University of Brighton in Eastbourne. Big up to Sam Nelson, tuned in. Marvu, are you doing a watch-along for England? Nah, bro, I'm not, England against Hungary is not enough to get me to stream, honestly. I probably won't even watch it. I'll just have it on in the background. Navarre said, we have Pep Light, Big C. Oh, man. I don't even know if he's Pep Light. He's, listen, what I will say, Arteta is trying his best. He's passionate about the football club. I said this the other day on the stream where we spoke about Stan Kroenke. I have more respect for Mikel Arteta than I do for Stan Kroenke because I believe Mikel Arteta cares. He wants the best. He has Arsenal in his heart. I just don't think at the moment he's good enough to get the best out of this squad. Now, maybe he can get there, but time will tell. At the moment, I'm still unconvinced. Zach said, big up Curtis, watching you from work. Big up, bro. Appreciate that. Make sure you don't get in trouble at work, man. If he said Paul Brucey, I feel for him. I mean, listen, I think he's being treated bad, but his compensation package will be healthy. That's the beauty of football. You get paid to fail in football. When you get sacked because of failure, they have to pay you to go. Chris Fraser said, with a top-class manager, this squad is top 6 easily. We are massively underperforming, in my opinion. And listen, I think Arsenal are, I would say Arsenal are in the top 7, and then it's just down to, where we were to finish. I think the top 4 speaks for itself, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. And then I think the next 3 is probably Arsenal, Leicester and Tottenham. if you're looking at strength in depth in the squad, in the quality, I would say they're the next three. And then you're probably looking at the likes of Everton, West Ham, Aston Villa. So for me, we're in the top 7. And yeah, I think we've got a better squad than Leicester. I've said this before. Maybe our starting 11 isn't better, but we have a better, 25-man squad. Captain Uncle said, I agree, Curtis Arteta is trying his best to ruin us as a football club. Dear Misty said, we missed out on Pep, Klopp, and now Conte. We sit on the fence with everything we do. The thing what's crazy about Arsenal think that this is what Arsenal need to get out of their head. Because they're such a big football club historically, they think that people move around them. Like the sun. People move around the sun. Planets move around the sun because the sun is the source of power. We are not that same source of power anymore. So Arsenal think, you know what? If we get rid of Arteta in December, we'll still go and get a top quality manager. Not necessarily. When a Conte is out of work and willing to come to England, sometimes you have to actually say, do you know what? I like Mikel Arteta. This is what the owner might be saying. I like Mikel Arteta, but Conte's available. I know we planned on giving Arteta another season, but Antonio Conte is an elite manager. If we can have that conversation and convince him to come to the club, we've got to sack Arteta, even if we didn't want to. This is too big of an upgrade to turn down, But Arsenal just don't think like that. Yeah, these men got me on some solar system business. They think they're the sun and people just rotate around them. Nobody don't care about that no more. Arsenal fans, we care about all this history in the background. You know what I'm saying? We care about all this, but the other people don't care about it outside of Arsenal. They look at that and go, that's old news, man. Who cares about that? What are you doing now? And this is what Arsenal need to get into their head. They have to move when they've got the opportunities. As I said, we could have signed Lautaro Martinez in the summer. He was willing to leave. Inter were willing to cash in on one of their 2 strikers. They said Lukaku's unsellable, but Lautaro could go. Arsenal were dilly-dallying, offering silly little bits and bobs. Chelsea just went, there's 100 million, Lukaku, done deal. The guy that was unsellable became sellable. The one that they were going to sell signs a new contract. We could probably never get Lautaro Martinez now. He'll go somewhere else. Arsenal don't react when they've got opportunities, and this is their problem. In life, a lot of success is about timing. Timing, the right time to make something happen, the right time to do something. Arsenal do not react at the right time to things. Luis Suarez signing that was the one. That would have won us the title. That was the striker. Do you know what I mean? Antonio Conte is out of work. He speaks English, wants to work in the Prem. He's won the title. It's there. It's ready. But you know what's going to happen? Arsenal will sit there and Conte will either go to Newcastle for an absolute fortune and try and build something incredible there, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will have a 3 or 4 bad game run. Man United will sack him and they'll hire Antonio Conte and he'll go to Man United. And everybody knows that if Man United hire a top-level manager, they're a different animal straight away. Every fan who doesn't support Man United says, I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to stay at Man United as long as possible because we know that he is the reason that they are being held back. They will go for a Conte. They will go for a Zidane, And then eventually, if we do decide, boy, Arteta's not good enough, Zidane will have gone, Conte will have gone, we'll be scraping the barrel. And this is the problem. Decision-making people, Arsenal, Kroenke, this is what I'm saying. Kroenke out said I would even get Graham Potter, just some competent manager. Rodney said if they get Conte, Martinez could be persuaded to become by Conte, yeah. Listen, if he's got a big bag of money, mate, and he was his manager at Inter Milan, he could convince him. Big up Buenos Aires, Goon. I hope you're well, bro. He said we're more reactive than proactive. For all the members on the channel as well, we will be doing the member stream tomorrow, and I'm going to do it later on as well because a lot of you have been saying, different time zones, different parts of the world. I usually stream the members ones earlier, so we'll do it later in the afternoon, probably at 4 o'clock tomorrow UK time. So hopefully that will help. Our usual stream will be at 2 o'clock. member stream at 4 people. But yeah, we have to react. We'd get Steve Bruce. That would be so typical of Arsenal, isn't it? They go and get the manager we should get, and we go and get him. A couple of things before we finish, people. Couple of things before we finish. Olivier Giroud, the lamppost, has been talking. Look at this clown. I'm not keeping this on for long. Marvu will love this picture, by the way. Olivier Giroud said he had an amazing time. He was on TalkSport, and he said he had an amazing time at Arsenal, but at Chelsea, it was even better because he won more big titles. But the funny thing about this, it's funny that the second reaction to this was Giroud let us down when we needed him. He should pipe down. And listen, the streets don't forget. The streets don't forget these 15 games without a goal, you know. So he basically cost Arsenal Football Club the Premier League that season. So when he talks about, here he is, I knew he'd be here, you know, Marvu straight out of the traps. But this lamppost is basically the reason Arsenal Football Club never won the title. The guy didn't score between January and April. How can you be Arsenal's number one striker? At the time, we had Sanchez, we had Ozil, we had all these ballers, and this guy went from January to April. He actually went from winter to spring without scoring, and this guy's talking rubbish about Chelsea. Listen, I get it. When you go to a club and win trophies, you will always have fonder memories of that club. And I understand that, to be honest. I've played for clubs before where I've loved it, the banter, the friendship. We've all got on great. But if you haven't been successful, you only remember that for the banter in the dressing room and the spirit. But you remember where you win trophies. That's where your fondest memories will be. So I get it. Craig said take him off the screen. I had to get him off quick. I had to get him off real quick. But obviously, look, he's saying he went to Chelsea, he won the Europa League, the Champions League, and the FA Cup. I always said with Giroud, I thought Giroud was a good player. I just think we should have had him as a second option. The problem with Arsenal, we kept Giroud as number one striker for years. He was an ideal plan B, you know, when you need a goal late in the game, put crosses in the box. He's fantastic at that. And that's why I think he did well at Chelsea, because Chelsea didn't really use him as the number one striker. If we had Aubameyang and had Giroud as number 2, things would have been fantastic. But having Giroud as number 1, as you can see, 15, 16 games without scoring, it's not good enough. And we also weren't that team that put cross after cross after cross in. So didn't really help us. And yeah, as you said, BX Gunner, Wenger, you know, Wenger loved him too much. Daniel Baker, just got him. Big up, Big C. Rewinding it back to see the news that I missed. I've really been catching. But number one Arsenal fan live stream. Big up, bro. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, people, whether you watch live or you watch afterwards, really appreciate all your support on the channel. We're still getting great numbers. And, you know, just keep liking the videos. Subscribe if you haven't. It's all much appreciated, people. Big up, Charlie Harmer said Giroud's highlight reel is probably one of the best ever. Mate, honestly, if you look on YouTube at his top 10 goals, the guy looks like Pele. You know, bicycle kicks, volleys, scorpion kicks. He's doing all sorts, you know. It doesn't tell the full story, though, unfortunately. But yeah, Giroud's highlight reel is spectacular. John Layat said, we bought from a nothing team like Montpellier. I mean, I don't even want to disrespect Montpellier, bro, because they won the title in France. It's just for years we needed that upgrade. You know, when you've got your friend who he gets the latest phone, and then 5 years later, he's still got that phone. He's got sellotape holding on the battery. It's all scratched. The screen's cracked. You're like, bro, ain't it time for an upgrade? Like, what you doing there, man? You've got the iPhone 7, the iPhone 13's out. But you're just hanging on to their memories. Like, we had Giroud. It was fine. But then get your Suarez, or get your Jamie Vardy, or get your Higuain, get your Benzema, get your Aubameyang earlier, you know, but they hung on to him for too long, man. So that was the problem. But he definitely scores bangers. Definitely scores bangers. Like you said, his highlight reel is unbelievable. Sam said, Curtis, when's the football awards? Football awards are on Thursday. This Thursday, people. So I'll keep you up to date. I'll keep you. If I go quiet, then, you know, maybe they've bumped me again. But listen, I will definitely keep everyone updated. and I'll keep you informed, people. But big up, Sam. Hopefully we get a trophy. Nominated for 3 awards. Surely we can win one of them. He replaced a gunman like RVP. I mean, RVP was ferocious. Rion said, do a live reaction to it. Yeah, why not? Why not? Especially if it goes well. If it goes bad, I'll just quietly slip out of there and go home, without talking about it. I'll just turn up on Friday and just pretend it never happened. On Friday, you'll be like, how did the awards go? I'll be like, awards? No, they cancelled it, No, I'll let you know either way, people. I'll let you know either way. Good luck, Big C, our silverware this season. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. It'd be great to share it with everyone as well. You're a part of it as well, with all the support people. One last one before I get out of here. Bit of a shorter one today. We just hit 50 minutes. These kind of stats I don't really like to get into too much. They're a bit flimsy, but it's chances created per minute and chances created from open play. Like I said, I don't love these kind of stats, but some people love them, so I'm not going to ignore them. I know people do like them. I just thought it was interesting that our most creative player is Nicolas Pepe. For every 35 minutes on average, he creates a clear chance. Smith Rowe, 67 minutes. Odegaard, 57. Tierney, who puts about 1 million crosses in. Martinelli is third and Saka is second. And then chances created from open play. Saka is first. Martinelli second. Pepe third. Tierney. Thomas Partey, can you believe? I don't know what chance he creates. He creates chances for birds to go and create new lives for themselves when he's just whacked them off the roof of the Emirates. And Emile Smith-Rowe last. Interesting that from open play, Martin Odegaard, our creative number 10 from Real Madrid, is not even in the top 6 most creative players in the Arsenal team in open play. And this stat is the bigger stat of the two, because the reason Pepe is top of this first one is because he takes a lot of set pieces. So this one is the bigger one to look at from open play. And I have to admit, these are not good reading. These are not good reading. They are not good numbers, Gibraltar guard, as we call him. It's one of the best international performances in the history of football. Odegaard bossed it against the Rock of Gibraltar FC. But he's not in our 6 highest creative players at the football club, which is unbelievable. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. We haven't played loads of games this season. This will kind of even itself out. But at the same time, that does not make good reading. That does not make good reading. Your creative number 10 is not even in the top 6. I mean, how on earth is Thomas Partey 5th out of the players in our team in creating chances? Kruger said, did you see Isaac's goal v Kosovo? You said earlier you weren't that impressed with him. Great goal. Absolutely brilliant goal. Listen, when I say I wasn't that impressed with him, I'm just not totally convinced that he's like a 60, 70 million pound striker. Isaac, he does look good. But I think we'd have to negotiate the price down, that's for sure. But listen, Odegaard is our best technical player than Partey. Gibraltar goalkeeper saved a Memphis Depay penalty yesterday. Bro, that's terrible, said Laguna. How is Martinelli so high? I can't remember him playing. I think he's only played twice, hasn't he? So, but yeah, interesting facts. Like I say, I'm not massive on these kind of stats. But it is interesting to look at them. Smith Rowe is 6th, but mine said Woe Fuldegaard. But I just thought it was interesting that a creative number 10 is not even in the top 6. But hey, hopefully those stats will change in time and he'll get loads of assists for us moving forward. At least we know the numbers on Martinelli back the eye test. I mean, interesting what is happening with Martinelli moving forward. We heard his agent at the start of the international break saying he wasn't happy, not getting game time. I hope he gets a chance on Monday against Crystal Palace, even if he comes off the bench. Because for me, he's a top talent. We need to make the most of him. People, that's that for today. 53 minutes gone. We're approaching the hour, but we're out of news. I will be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Don't forget, members, do you know what? Probably 4:30, actually. We'll do 4:30 tomorrow. Member stream. Your chance to come on the stream, have your say. a bit later to make it easier for people in different parts of the world. 2 p.m. tomorrow, we'll be back with the Arsenal content as we approach, the weekend. No England watch along tonight. It's not really. I don't like forcing content, people. If I've got no inspiration behind the game, I won't do it. And I'm not that enthused to watch England against Hungary. So, I'll probably just catch the highlights of that. Big up to everyone for tuning in. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. 2 p.m. tomorrow, we'll be back. 4:30 for the member stream as well. And the awards are on Thursday. I'll probably do a reaction video or something when I'm there. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bless.